Welcome in to WCW NITRO, WCW Official Eric Bischoff on his way out to make some sort of announcement here to kick off NITRO this week. Eric says he wants to congratulate both Damian Priest and Becky Lynch on winning their Royal Rumble matches. And since Becky has already made her choice for WrestleMania, we need to find an opponent for Raquel Rodriguez. So starting next week, each brand will have 3 Elimination Chamber qualifying matches to find the 6 women who will move on to the Elimination Chamber for a shot at Raquel Rodriguez in the WCW Women's Championship at WrestleMania. Who's headed to WrestleMania to challenge Raquel Rodriguez? We will find out starting next week. Let's look back at the Royal Rumble. We just talked about it. Becky Lynch punching her ticket, eliminating Rhea Ripley. Then on the men's side, Damian Priest eliminated Braun Breaker to punch his ticket. We had a ladder match. Kind of a tribute to WrestleMania 10, the real WCW television champion LA Knight, with his title hanging above the ring, and Miz's replica WCW television title from Toys R Us also hanging above the ring. When it was all said and done, the megastar would retrieve both titles, and we can finally put this 2-title business to rest. We also had a match for the WCW Cruiserweight Championship, Santos Escobar putting his Cruiserweight title up against Ilja Dragunov. And for months, Dragunov has tried to regain the belt that he lost to Escobar back at SummerSlam. Again, Carlito making his presence known on the outside, but the Mad Dragon would get the 1-2-3, regaining the Cruiserweight Championship. But it wasn't over there. Charlie Dempsey would hit the ring, attack the new champion, and lay him out with his newly won WCW Cruiserweight Championship. And now Santos Escobar, the former WCW Cruiserweight Champion, making his way down to the ring, microphone in hand. Let's hear what the former champ has to say. He says he wants to know who the hell Charlie Dempsey thinks he is. He just shows up here and thinks he's going to jump the line and get a Cruiserweight Championship match. Dempsey on his way out. He says he's not here to waste time or stand in lines. He's going after exactly what he wants, and that's the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. Escobar says, as the former champion, I deserve my rematch before some rookie who lost his only match here moves ahead of me. Dempsey says, let's go right now and I'll show you exactly who the hell I am. Well, it looks like we're going to have a match here. Santos Escobar and Charlie Dempsey, and Dempsey right out of the gate, not wasting any time, as the former champion in a bad way here. Again, everything Escobar said, they're correct. We've only seen one match from Charlie Dempsey here in WCW, and he lost it. But maybe not the smartest decision to attack Ilja Dragunov, but he has already found himself in a better situation than, say, Javon Evans, another newcomer to the Cruiserweight division, who also happens to be the one who beat Dempsey in that match. And people are talking about Charlie Dempsey. They're talking about him attacking Ilja Dragunov at the Royal Rumble. Now, maybe not the smartest person to attack. Dragunov doesn't have a very long fuse. He's got a very short fuse. But again, if you want an opportunity, you might not agree with the tactics that Dempsey took, but if you want an opportunity, sometimes you just got to go and grab it for yourself. And look, just because he attacked Dragunov doesn't mean he's guaranteed a championship match. But definitely puts him on the radar of the Mad Dragon. Dempsey. And Escobar with no choice but to tap Charlie Dempsey with the win. And here comes the Cruiserweight Champion, Ilja Dragunov, on his way down to the ring. And we saw it at the Royal Rumble. We saw a much more focused Ilja Dragunov. In the past, I would think that Dragunov would just hit the ring and attack Dempsey, but he is much more measured and much more methodical as he stands face to face with Charlie Dempsey. Up next, Rhea Ripley. Based on the announcement that Eric Bischoff made at the start of the night, you got to think that Rhea Ripley, definitely an early favorite to find her way into the Elimination Chamber, and also a heavy favorite to win the Elimination Chamber. She will be taking on Isla Dawn, Alba Fire out in her corner. Rhea, no stranger to big matches, no stranger to WrestleMania. The former two-time WCW Women's Champion was actually the champion at last year's WrestleMania. And it was the Royal Rumble winner, Asuka, who challenged her. And Rhea was able to walk into WrestleMania as WCW Women's Champion, defeat Asuka, and walk out of WrestleMania still WCW Women's Champion. And maybe some people have been kind of sleeping on Rhea. A lot of the focus in the WCW Women's division, obviously a lot of attention on Bianca Belair. Here recently, Jade Cargill. Before that, Lyra Valkyria. But don't sleep on Rhea Ripley. I think that this time of the year, this is when Rhea really ups her game. And I would definitely think she's a safe bet to earn one of those spots in the Elimination Chamber. Picks up the win this week as she defeats Isla Dawn. And the next step for her is to get through the qualifying match and find a way into the Elimination Chamber. Making his way out to the ring, the WCW United States Champion, main event Jey Uso. And you got to think the Royal Rumble, a heartbreaking night for Jey Uso. He went into the Rumble with WrestleMania plans. Wanting to use the Royal Rumble as a way to get his hands on The Rock and try to right some wrongs that have been going on with his family. But unfortunately for him, it was not his night, as he was unable to win the Royal Rumble. But there's always the Elimination Chamber. We don't know what Damian Priest is going to do. So there's still an outside chance that Jey may be able to make his WrestleMania dream a reality. But now we're just waiting on Priest's decision. Jey says he feels like he let everybody down at the Royal Rumble. He let his fans down. He let his family down. And he says maybe he was a little too focused on what he was going to do when he won the match. And maybe that distracted him from actually winning the Royal Rumble. But there's still a chance. There's the Elimination Chamber. Drew McIntyre on his way down He says, "You're right, Jay. You did let everybody down. You let down the locker room. You let down the fans. But most importantly, you let down your family." You didn't get the job done at the Royal Rumble, and you're not going to get the job done at Elimination Chamber. Let's be real, Jay. You're not WrestleMania main event material. Jay taking the microphone upside the head of the Scottish psychopath. And look, as much as Jay never came out and said he guaranteed he was going to win the Rumble, McIntyre did. So McIntyre, a little bit hypocritical out here, throwing rocks, sitting in his glass house. And if we're being honest, Drew had a less than favorable performance in the Royal Rumble. Back body drop down on the floor. And again, emotions are high with Jey Uso. He wants The Rock more than anything. He wants to be the one to bring a little bit of retribution back to his family. And sometimes when you've got a goal and you're so hyper-focused on it, you let a few of the little details slip by as he tosses McIntyre off the stage, hits him with an Uso splash. Drew McIntyre was just taught a very humbling and painful lesson here tonight. He came out here and ran his mouth, and Jey Uso slammed it shut.